What's going on, guys? Drewzy here, back again on South Park Phone Destroyer. It's the beginning of the week again, guys, and you know what time it is. It's time for yet another best of videos. So the votes have been counted from the last couple of weeks, and Kenny edged out Timmy for this week's vote. So I'm going to do Kenny this week and Timmy next week because they had a vast majority of the votes for those two. Then we're pretty much down to just two more characters, I think, from the list that I've done so far that have cards currently within all four themes, and that would be Kyle and Token. I believe are the only two left that I have not done videos on. So I want you guys to vote on those, on either Token or Kyle, and based on those votes we'll determine the next 2 weeks after Timmy, which of course Timmy again will be next week, and then we'll do either Token or Kyle after that. And then there are other cards within the game. Ike, Tweak, and Craig, I know for sure that I haven't done videos on, but they currently only have in 3 of the 4 themes. So until those characters have cards in all 4 themes, I will not do videos on them like in this format. And once they do, I will then do it. I will also do any updates on the other videos that I've done if I feel like I need to after the epic and legendary balance changes here, hopefully within a few weeks or so. So after that long rambling, let's get going and talking about the best of Kenny video. So we're going to start with Inuit Kenny from the adventure theme. Now I don't have Inuit Kenny. So he's one of the 4 legendaries I currently still don't have within the game. But I do have the picture up here of a level 1 Inuit Kenny. And so Inuit Kenny is a 4 energy cost. He is a legendary, so he's going to be difficult for a lot of people to have him. But a lot of people that do have Inuit Kenny do like him. I personally am not a huge fan of him, and or based on his stats, what I've seen, that I think Inuit Kenny is worth the cost and the price that he is. So he's considered a low tier card right now within the current PvP meta. Has a 2 attack speed, which is the second slowest of all the Kennys. It is currently the 8th fastest attack speed out of all of the adventure theme. So, I mean, pretty slow. There are 3 assassins within the adventure theme that are faster than Inuit Kenny, and that is Bandita Sally, Smuggler Ike, and Deckhand Butters. Those 3 cards all have a faster attack speed than Inuit Kenny, and none of those are legendary like he is. So that puts him at a slight disadvantage in my opinion, just the fact that he's the 4th fastest assassin and he's a legendary. He does have a death wish, as all Kennys do. All Kennys have a death wish. His death wish is he kills the person that kills him immediately. So if you're smart and use Inuit Kenny at the right time, he can be used to counter a high energy card, like maybe Manbear Pig. Just cast him out, Manbear Pig kills him, you know, Manbear Pig's done. So, I mean, you can almost use Inuit Kenny, and there's a few of the other Kennys that are almost basically like an extra spell in their own right, because you have, not only does he do damage, but then he can be basically used to wipe one enemy from the battlefield. He can dish out 113 damage per second at max rank, which is the 6th best assassin in the game as far as statistics right now. So, not high on damage, slow on attack speed compared to other assassins in his own theme, and a legendary card. He's going to be hard to get. So, in my opinion, Inuit Kenny might be the worst of the 4 Kennys. But that's up for debate. Again, let me know down below what you guys think of this breakdown video as I go through it. So the second Kenny we're going to talk about is from the sci-fi theme. It is Cyborg Kenny. Cyborg Kenny is an epic card. He is, again, another assassin with a death wish. His death wish is a little bit different. So it heals and controls the unit that kills him for 10 seconds. Now, a lot of people really hate this card. He can be a very annoying card in PvP because his death wish, that 10 seconds, is twice as long as Mecha Timmy, so it's basically mind control. Plus it heals the unit to make them basically... I don't think it doesn't fully heal them. As you see, my heal is only 56 right now at the level I have Cyborg Kenny at. So it heals them back any damage that Cyborg Kenny may have done to them or anyone else. And then now they can then unleash more damage on an opposing card. Some people think that death wish needs to be lowered as far as the time frame. So a lot of people feel 10 seconds is way too long. I think that Cyborg Kenny, because he's a low tier card right now within the meta, he's not widely used. Fairly expensive cost of 4 energy for an assassin, so that kind of hurts him. He's an epic, that kind of hurts him as far as the expensiveness to level him up. I do like his death wish a lot, I really do, and I like Cyborg Kenny, and I use him in my sci-fi PvP decks currently, but I think when the buffs come out to epics or legendaries, assuming Cyborg Kenny gets one, that will determine, in my opinion, as far as how well his usefulness, and I think he'll up in tier if he gets a nice buff, but it all depends on the way Red Lakes wants to go with this balance change for him. a 2.1 attack speed, which is the slowest of the 4 Kennys, and is the 5th best in the Sci-Fi series. Sci-Fi series does not have a ton of fast hitting cards as far as attack speed goes. Usually pretty good damage, but not very high attack speed. So pretty, I mean, 5th best with a 2.1 doesn't bode super well. Of 105.2 damage per second, which is the 10th best damage for an assassin in the game, and is lower than Inuit Kenny was, that we just talked about. So not the greatest damage potential. His Death Wish is extremely useful in the right circumstances, but at a high energy cost and epic. Again, this will be subject to change as far as how... I mean, Cyborg Kenny is one of my favorites. I mean, he's a guilty pleasure, if you want to call it, of mine. I do like it. I do like using him in sci-fi decks, but his true usefulness is lacking in the higher tiers. Now, in the medium to low tiers of PvP, he's devastating because that Death Wish can be the death of you. I mean, it's basically, again, like an extra spell card because he has mind control, in his back pocket when you kill him. So, Cyborg Kenny, used in the right circumstances, is extremely useful in PvP, but not in the higher legendary style tiers. I don't see a lot of legendary people using Cyborg Kenny. They use one of the other Kennys very rampantly right now, but Cyborg Kenny, to me, probably the 3rd best Kenny, and that sucks. I mean, I think he'll be better than Hermes, who we're going to talk about here next. Here, hopefully, when the balance changes come. I love Cyborg Kenny. This may be debated and this may be argued as far as Cyborg Kenny's rating, but that's just my opinion. But you guys, please tell me yours down below. Our 3rd Kenny to talk about is Hermes Kenny from the Mystical theme, and he is an epic again, similar to Cyborg Kenny, so some very expensive upgrade Kenny cards, at least within these first 3 Kennys. So his Death Wish doubles the energy gained for 2 seconds. Now, that doesn't seem very long, so it's basically, I think you get maybe 1.5 energy back for him. So, I mean, he's a 3 energy cost, so he's cheaper than the first 2 Kennys we discussed, so that kind of helps him a little bit. He also has a 1.9 attack speed, which is the 2nd best attack speed out of the Mystical theme, and is the 2nd best to all the Kennys. So he has much improved attack speed over the first 2 Kennys that we discussed. He can do 119 damage at max rank per second, which is the 3rd best out of any assassin in the game. So again, that bodes well for him as well. More damage output, better attack speed. A decent Death Wish. I think it's my least favorite Death Wish out of all the Death Wishes, to be honest with you, because this one is not basically a spell card. I mean, it's like a half an energy staff, basically buff for just 2 seconds, which is not long enough. I'm not 100% if that power duration will increase as you level up Hermes Kenny. As you see, I have him to almost level 2.5 basically right now, and it's still 2 seconds. So I don't know if that goes up. If that does go up, let me know down below if any of you have him higher than what I have him currently. But I mean, Hermes Kenny's just damage output and usefulness is still there, I think, because he's a lower cost, more around what an assassin should be, 2 to 3 energy, I think helps his case, as well as he has higher damage potential than the first 2 Kennys that we talked about. And his Death Wish, again, is yet to be desired, in my opinion, but I would put Hermes Kenny either tied with Cyborg Kenny, in my opinion, or slightly better. So he's either 2nd or tied for 2nd with Cyborg Kenny, in my opinion, as far as usefulness of the 4 Kennys. But again, let me know down below what you think of that. And last but certainly not least, from the fantasy theme, we have Princess Kenny, which has been pretty much undoubtedly considered to be the best Kenny of them all, and we'll quickly talk about why very quickly. So the big thing about Princess Kenny is this Kenny is a common card, so that very well bodes for leveling him to make it much easier, much faster, cheaper cost to do so. You can get his cards much easier by people donating them. The hardest part about Princess Kenny is what you have to do to unlock it, which you have to be at least PvP rank 40 or above to unlock Princess Kenny. Once you hit 40, if you drop below, you will not see Kenny available in the shops or in packs until you get Eclipse above 40 again, but you can still request them to be donated to you, so you can still get them. If, say, you just hit 40, you drop to 39, you can still get the donations for Princess Kenny, but you will not see him in packs and or in the free packs or anything like that until after you Eclipse 40 again. So it's going to be hard to get Princess Kenny because it's one of the last good cards that you get unlocked you, because in PvP rank 40 you also get chicken coop, which nobody uses. I don't see anybody especially at high tiers, using chicken coop, except if it's an event card or anything like that. But Princess Kenny is widely used in Legendary Arena. It's the best Kenny because it has the fastest attack speed of all the Kennys, a 1.8, slightly better than Hermes Kenny. It's the 10th fastest in the game out of attack speed. Also can do 117.2 damage per second at max rank, which is the 4th best out of any assassin in the game as far as damage output. So slightly lower damage than Hermes Kenny, a little bit faster attack speed. But, I mean, the Death Wish is fantastic. This unit's killer gets 0 attack for 10 seconds. So the same duration as Cyborg Kenny's Death Wish, but a little bit different. Instead of controlling them, now you basically remove their ability to do damage for 10 seconds. So then you make that card useless. Again, like a lot of the other Kennys, basically a free spell, and at 2 energy cost. There's little to no contest as to why Princess Kenny is the best Kenny. I mean, pretty much everyone would agrees with me on this. But again, Cyborg Kenny is my favorite Kenny, just based on I've used him the most, and I fell in love with the sci-fi theme. So he's my favorite Kenny, but the best Kenny, without question, in this game right now is Princess Kenny. And that, again, could change with these balance changes that are, could be coming hopefully very soon. We have not been announced yet by Red Links as far as when the updates will come. So again, this is all subject to change. But let me know down below, guys, what you think of this video. If you agree, disagree with my rating system of these cards. But Kenny is very good in pretty much all the themes. I would suggest using them if you have them. Inuit Kenny, again, is going to be hard to have for a lot of you, including myself. I don't have him, but he's basically a cult favorite to a lot of people. But I'm just not seeing his value be as useful as some of these other Kennys, at least as of right now. But again, that could change here in the future. But let me know down below, guys, what you guys think. Thanks again for the continued support on the channel. It's been absolutely amazing. And until next time, guys, my name is Drewzy.